This is Steve Ridgell, and I thought I'd talk a little bit today about being the kind of person you want to be. And here's one of the greatest hints for becoming who you want to be. Look around you, find people in this world that you'd like to be like. People maybe older than you that you could say, when I'm that age, I would like to be like. Now, I'm not saying anybody's perfect. I'm not implying that. But there are people. I mean, I'm 74 and I have people that are 85 and 90 that I look at and say, I'd like to be like them. My mom's 95 and there are things about her that I'd like to be. I don't think I'll live that long, but if I did, I'd like to be like that. And so that works at whatever stage of life you're in. I tell teenage young men, find those young married guys that you say, I'd like to have a wife and kids, and I'd like to have a family like that. I'd like to be like that. Now, you may find people that are work role models. You may find a lot, but I'm telling you to look for people that are the kind of people you would like to be. Now, and be like them. Now, all of us were formed to a large extent by the people in our families, our family of origin, our immediate family, our extended family. You had, you had parents, you had aunts and uncles, you had maybe older cousins, older siblings. You had a lot of people that influenced the person you became. And a lot of them gave you really good role models. Some of them gave you really not good role models. But look around now. I'm a Christian, and so the first person I want to be like is Jesus. So I study the life of Jesus. But I also find elders and older Christians, and just find the people, maybe where you work, find your work role model. And then here's what you do with that. When you find the people, you say, you know what? I wouldn't mind being like that when I'm that age or at that point of life. Then you look at their life and find out what they do to be like they are. Now, if your goal is if you say, I want to be the greatest bank robber in history, then find some bank robbers and find out what they do. And by the way, what they do is rob banks. But let's say you look and you say, wow, what made him be that kind of dad? Wow, what made him be that kind of plumber? What made him be that kind of neighbor? What made her be like this? And then you find those characteristics. It may be that you can get to know them well enough you can ask them. But if you just watch them, where do they spend their time? Well, I notice at work he goes early and stays a little late. Okay, that may be a hint if you want to be that kind of worker. Boy, he's always going to church. There's a hint. Boy, he's always at his kids' things. There's another thing. You just look and you say, what do they do? If you say, I'd love to have a marriage like that young couple someday. Okay, find out where do they meet each other. Now, if you say, well, I want to have somebody that's going to abuse my kids and run off and leave me, and okay, then there are places you go to find people like that. If you say, I want to have a husband that's going to love me, love my kids, raise them, be a good dad, where do you find guys like that? And look around at the happy families and find out how they met, where they met. So I have a lot of people ask me, how do I become who I want to be? And I tell you, find people who are like what you would like to be. And you find out what they do. And then that's what you do. Role models, it really does matter. And by the way, I stole that from the Bible because a guy named Paul one time said, follow me as I follow Jesus. That's the essence of a role model. This is Steve Ridgell, thankful for the role models in my life.